What's up, guys? We have some crazy, silly season news to go over today. Is that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Yes, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who just got replaced by Chris Buescher for the Roush Fenway car, is going to JTG Daugherty Racing in 2020. It's basically a complete swap with Chris Buescher. Yeah, they're completely swapping, but it's not actually quite a complete swap yet, because the number for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s car next year, well, the number is still yet to be announced. The number that Chris Buescher is driving right now in the Cup Series is the 37, but it is possible that that number could change for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Ryan Preece will be staying in Daugherty Racing. So, Stenhouse, Preece, teammates next year, but what numbers will they be in? So, maybe they can put Preece in the 37, which drives the 47 now, and put Stenhouse in the 47? Or could they keep Preece in the 47, and then put Stenhouse maybe in a new number, the 57? Who knows what could happen here? And that's really exciting. And also, the sponsor will be announced at a later date for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but we all know Kroger will be the majority, and probably like Bush's Baked Beans and Cheerios and Kleenex, Hellmann's, all the stuff like that. And of course, Preece will have Kroger as well next year, as he is staying with JTG Daugherty in 2020. Now, we also have some other news. ISC approved the corporation's sale to NASCAR. The deal will close on Friday, so that means we're going to get even more tracks that we actually want to have, probably coming in 2021 when the next gen car is introduced, since ISC has now sold itself basically to NASCAR. Also, like the NASCAR Goes West, which is in the NASCAR right now, there will be different segments in it, and NASCAR Goes West will be one of them, of course, and premier partners will have rights to them, and teams will be able to land competitors as sponsors, and no brand like in the different segments will be on the Cup Series name for next year, will be attached to that. And also, to go on with the Cup Series name, we know that it's not going to have one big title sponsor, and NASCAR is trying to get Geico to be their first premier partner, being with them. So it'll be the NASCAR Premier Series or NASCAR Cup Series, sponsored by, probably Geico is going to be the first one, since NASCAR is trying to do that now. And then Monster Energy will probably stay some. So Geico, Monster, maybe Toyota, Coca-Cola, stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. It'll be the first time since 1971 since they did something like that with no big one title sponsor. It'll just be like many of them bringing in money to that one series, of course. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I was afraid for him, because when we got the news that Chris Buescher's going to the 17 car for Roush Fenway, which is where Stenhouse is now, Stenhouse didn't know, and like the team members didn't know until us, the public, knew. So that was bad. He got hit in the face by Jack Roush and Roush Fenway Racing. But I was afraid, because the only rides that were really open in the Cup Series is the JTG Daugherty car, the 37 now, might change, might stay the same, and the 38 for Front Row Motorsports is open because David Reagan's retiring at the end of the season. So I was afraid, JTG is going to put Hemrick in the 37, and then Stenhouse is going to have to go to Front Row in the 38. He'll stay in the Ford system. Roush will want that. And it's interesting, both of the JTG drivers next year, Stenhouse Jr. and Preece, are both part of Kevin Harvick's program, to help them get into ride. So that's pretty interesting as well. And I was afraid for Stenhouse, but it seems like now that Stenhouse is going to JTG, probably in the 37, who knows, maybe a different number, and he'll be teammates with Ryan Preece next year, who's a rookie this year. Another rookie this year is Daniel Hemrick. Where will he go? Of course, I thought he could go to this JTG car, since Buescher's going to Roush. But it seems like if LaJoie stays at Go Fast, then Hemrick's only options are to go to that Front Row 38 because Reagan's retiring in Cup, or drop down to Xfinity and get a more competitive ride, or maybe not even competitive ride, but get some kind of competitive ride in Xfinity. I mean, think about it. That number 20 Xfinity Joe Gibbs racing car is open for next year. We still have no really idea who is going to go to that car next year. I mean, some people could speculate it's going to be Harrison Burton, but he hasn't even won a truck race yet. So I don't think it's going to be him, even though he's did pretty decent in that 18 Gibbs Xfinity car in his part-time schedule this year. So, yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. going to the number possibly 37 for JTG Daugherty Racing next year in 2020, since Chris Buescher, of course, is going to the 17 Roush Fenway car. And yeah, it's basically a complete swap with those two, swap of rides. Stenhouse going from Ford to Chevy, and Buescher going from Chevy to Ford. And Stenhouse's only team he's ever driven for, ever, has been Roush Fenway Racing, and that is changing next year when he is going to JTG Daugherty. And his car number and his sponsor will be announced at a later date for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So, of course, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everything you've done for this channel, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.